Marcus Aurelius continues to influence the world with his timeless wisdom. His reflections in Meditations offer profound reflections on life, virtue, and the human experience. His philosophy centered on Stoicism and emphasized personal ethics and resilience in the face of adversity. Through his timeless quotes, Aurelius inspires individuals to cultivate inner strength and navigate life with wisdom. He invites us to explore our thoughts, actions, and aspirations, leaving a lasting legacy. Here are some impactful quotes from Marcus Aurelius on life, transformation, success, and more. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Almost nothing material is needed for a happy life, for he who has understood existence. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Is any man afraid of change? What can take place without change? What then is more pleasing or more suitable to the universal nature? And can you take a hot bath unless the wood for the fire undergoes a change? And can you be nourished unless the food undergoes a change? And can anything else that is useful be accomplished without change? Do you not see then that for yourself also to change is just the same, and equally necessary for the universal nature? Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The happiness and unhappiness of the rational social animal depends not on what he feels, but on what he does, just as his virtue and vice consist not in feeling, but in doing. Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A person's worth is measured by worth of what he values. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself in your way of thinking. The first step. Don't be anxious. Nature controls it all. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream, for as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place, and this will be carried away too. Not to waste time on nonsense, not to be taken in by conjurers and hoodoo artists with their talk about incantations and exorcism and all the rest of it, not to be obsessed with quail fighting or other crazes like that. Stop wandering about. You aren't likely to read your own notebooks or ancient histories or the anthologies you've collected to enjoy in your old age. Get busy with life's purpose. Toss aside empty hopes. Get active in your own rescue, if you care for yourself at all, and do it while you can. No one loses any other life than the one he now lives, nor does one live any other life than that which he will lose. how much time he gains, who does not look to see what his neighbour says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. You're better off not giving the small things more time than they deserve. No man can escape his destiny, the next inquiry being how he may best live the time that he has to live. Do the things external which fall upon thee distract thee. Give thyself time to learn something new and good, and cease to be whirled around. The soul becomes dyed with colour of its thoughts. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Accustom yourself not to be disregarding of what someone else has to say. As far as possible, enter into the mind of the speaker. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. So I look for the best and am prepared for the opposite. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. Man should fear never beginning to live. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. Life is neither good or evil, but only a place for good and evil. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. To live the good life, we have the potential for it, if we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. I can control my thoughts as necessary, then how can I be troubled? What is outside my mind means nothing to it. Absorb that lesson and your feet stand firm. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Everything that happens, happens as it should, and if you observe carefully, you will find this to be so. If something is difficult for you to accomplish, do not then think it impossible for any human being. Rather, if it is humanly possible and corresponds to human nature, know that it is attainable by you as well. From my great-grandfather, not to have attended schools for the public, to have had good teachers at home, and to realize that this is the sort of thing on which one should spend lavishly. Be content to seem what you really are. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. Remember that very little is needed to make a happy life. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance, and be ready to let it go. today I escaped anxiety, or no, I discarded it because it was within me in my own perceptions, not outside. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Do not try to be on the side of the majority, but live according to your inner laws. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? A man, when he has done a good act, does not call out for others to come and see, but he goes on to another act, as a vine goes on to produce again the grapes in season. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Kindness is invincible. In everything that you do, pause and ask yourself if death is a dreadful thing because it deprives you of this. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. When men are inhuman, take care not to feel towards them as they do towards other humans. A man's life is dyed the color of his imagination. Give every day as if they last. In a word, if there is a God, all is well, and if chance rules, do not also be governed by it. He who follows reason in all things is both tranquil and active at the same time, and also cheerful and collected. Consider that before long you will be nobody and nowhere, nor will any of the things exist that you now see, nor any of those who are now living, for all things are formed by nature to change and be turned and to perish in order that other things in continuous succession may exist. Anything in any way beautiful derives its beauty from itself and asks nothing beyond itself. Praise is no part of it, for nothing is made worse or better by praise. All of us are creatures of a day, the remembered and the remembered alike. All is ephemeral, both memory and the object of memory. The time is at hand when you will have forgotten everything, and the time is at hand when all will have forgotten you. Always reflect that soon you will be no one and nowhere. That which has died falls not out of the universe. If it stays here, it also changes here and is dissolved into its proper parts, which are elements of the universe and of thyself, and these too change, and they murmur not. The second step, concentrate on what you have to do. Fix your eyes on it. Remind yourself that your task is to be a good human being. Remind yourself what nature demands of people. Then do it without hesitation and speak the truth as you see it, but with kindness, with humility, without hypocrisy. When you have assumed these names, good, modest, truthful, rational, a man of equanimity, and magnanimous, take care that you do not change these names, and if you should lose them, quickly return to them. Be content with what you are and wish not change, nor dread your last day, nor long for it. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. The best answer to anger is silence. Remember, matter, how tiny your share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate, how small a role you play in it. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Pleasures when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. Objective judgment now at this very moment, unselfish action now at this very moment, willing acceptance now at this very moment of all external events. That's all you need. The memory of everything is very soon overwhelmed in time. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. To love only what happens, what was destined, no greater harmony. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is done. You're subject to sorrow, fear, jealousy, anger, and inconsistency. That's the real reason you should admit that you are not wise. It's silly to try to escape other people's faults. They are inescapable. Just try to escape your own. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Everything that exists is in a manner the seed of that which will be. Failure to read what is happening in another's soul is not easily seen as a cause of unhappiness, but those who fail to attend the motions of their own soul are necessarily unhappy. Give up your thirst for books so that you do not die a grouch. As far as you can, get into the habit of asking yourself in relation to any action taken by another, what is his point of reference here? But begin with yourself. Examine yourself first. Death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back. Observe the movements of the stars as if you were running their courses with them, and let your mind constantly dwell on the changes of the elements into each other. Such imaginings wash away the filth of life on the ground. Men exist for sake of one another. Today I escaped all circumstance, or rather I cast out all circumstance, for it was not outside me, but within my judgments. How soon will time cover all things? The honest and good man ought to be exactly like a man who smells strong, so that the bystander, as soon as he comes near him, must smell whether he choose or not. Think of the universal substance, of which thou has a very small portion, and of universal time, of which a short and indivisible interval has been assigned to thee, and of that which is fixed by destiny, and how small a part of it thou art. It is a ridiculous thing for a man not to fly from his own badness, which is indeed possible, but to fly from other men's badness, which is impossible. Will any man despise me? Let him see to it, but I will see to it that I may not be found doing or saying anything that deserves to be despised. If any man is able to convince me and show me that I do not think or act right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth by which no man was ever injured, but he is injured who abides in his error and ignorance. Art thou angry with him whose armpits stink? Art thou angry with him whose mouth smells foul? In an expression of true gratitude, sadness is conspicuous only by its absence. The sexual embrace can only be compared with music and with prayer. That which is not good for the swarm, neither is it good for the bee. Look to nothing, not even for a moment, except to reason. We must make haste then, not only because we are daily nearer to death, but also because the conception of things and the understanding of them cease first. The world is mere change, and this life opinion. What we do now echoes in eternity. Though you break your heart, men will go on as before. Let not your mind run on what you lack as much as on what you have already. Straight, not straightened. Here is a rule to remember in the future when anything tempts you to feel bitter, that this is misfortune, but to bear this worthily is good fortune. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Confine yourself to the present. Treat whatever happens as wholly natural, not novel or hard to deal with, but familiar and easily handled. For God's sake, stop honoring externals. Quit turning yourself into the tool of mere matter or of people who can supply you or deny you those material things. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. Be your own master and look at things as a man, as a human being, as a citizen, as a mortal creature. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. As the same fire assumes different shapes when it consumes objects differing in shape, so does oneself take the shape of every creature in whom he is present. Whatever is in any way beautiful hath its source of beauty in itself, and is complete in itself. Praise forms no part of it, so it is none the worse nor the better for being praised. Tomorrow is nothing, today is too late. The good lived yesterday. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom in Meditations offers guidance and solace to those seeking insight. He encourages introspection, resilience, and virtue. His words transcend generations, inspiring us to embrace a life of virtue and confront challenges with fortitude. As we reflect on his quotes, we find not just historical wisdom, but perennial guidance for navigating existence and striving for inner strength and understanding. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and share.